Hey there, it's Sarah from Roxy Creations. This week I went to I think it's called the Stitches and Craft Fair that they have in Sydney. They have it once a year and we look forward to it coming. This video is for my sister Rachel, so she can see what I got, but you might like to see some of the things I got as well. So the first thing is I bought some Liberty fabrics from a lady's business called the Strawberry Thief. I always like to buy little bits of Liberties from her. She sells them in little fat eighths, which is good because Liberty is quite expensive. So I thought, I'd use some of these for my sewing, but I also thought like bits and pieces of these are really nice to make little tabs in your junk journal. So I do gravitate towards nice bright colours. So I bought 5 little fat eighths, and I've already got a lot of Liberty, so it's just sort of to add to my collection. Some of these prints I've actually already got in different colour waves, but these were really pretty sort of summery ones that I got at the show. So I think they're really pretty, so that's the first thing. Then I bought some different fabrics. So I'll just open up the packets because they'll be a bit shiny under the light. So I do like cute things, and I thought these were super cute, this fabric. And I was actually thinking this might be nice to cut out some of the panels and you could use them on the fronts of your journal if you're making even like a kid's journal. So that's super cute. It's probably doesn't say on the selvage that I've got, but it's probably some kind of Japanese fabric. Then I really liked this fabric. It's like a strawberries on a strawberries. This one does have the selvage, so we can have a look at that if you want to know what it is. So it's called Penny Rose It's from Penny Rose Fabrics. Strawberry, can't read that, it's too tiny, but beautiful little strawberries and flowers, which I thought was cute. This one looks like it might be the same company. These are, you can see, pretty pale blue. Oh no, this is an Amy Simboldi. Oh, I'm not surprised I picked that. I like her fabric. So this is Charlestown. I have bought Amy Simboldi fabric before. This one's a really pretty one. I hadn't seen this one. So that would be pretty to use in any kind of craft projects. And this one. This is, let's see if I've got the selvage. This is a pretty pink one. Turn it the right way. Sorry, flipping everything about. Pretty pink birds. So this one is called Spring Birds Spring Walk by Little Cube for Cloud9 Fabrics. It's organic cotton, this one. I've bought Cloud9 Fabrics before. So I actually think that they are really pretty together, and I thought these two were the same collection, but they're not. Really pretty together. Whoops, my Liberties have come over as well. And then thought they all went really nicely together. Okay, so then this one is different. I like a lot of indigo or navy blue. These are all fat quarters and they were all approximately $6 Australian. The craft fair's on tomorrow and on Sunday as well, but I couldn't go this weekend. My weekend is too busy with sport. So I raced there on Wednesday afternoon, the day that it opened, with Mum, and we only had an hour there, but I certainly can do some damage in an hour. I didn't have any trouble buying a few bits and pieces. This is a motor fabric and it's by French General. Love French General. I know my sister and my mum love that store too. It's in, I think, New York, and we'd all like to go there one day. So that's a beautiful indigo and kind of a a beigey creamy colour. And then those fabrics that I just showed you, except for I don't think I got the animal ones there. I think I got that from a different store. They were from, I think it's called Cloth House, and it's from Melbourne in Victoria. And this pack is as well. So it's kind of a mixed pack where they had a kit, different coloured kits, and you can use the fabrics to make kind of like a boro bag, like a slow stitch bag. My mum likes doing that slow stitching. My sister and I do a little bit of it too. But I just liked it because it had random mixes of fabrics. So let's have a look and see what we got in the pack. So the pack was, not that bag. Pack was $18. So that's a Liberty. I think that one is as well. It feels like it's a Liberty. Hopefully that's in focus. That one feels like a Liberty as well. It's very, very light fabric. How cute is that? The piggies. Super cute. And I like these little mice. So this was the pink pack. This would be great for a slow stitching project. Cute little rabbies. Looks like there's a lot of fabric in here. Bits and pieces. Little chickens. Pastries. Macaroons. Or Zumbarons if you're in Australia, made by Adriano Zumbo. Yummy. Flowers. Bikes. Little pink castles. These are really sweet fabric. Oh, I like the birds. Pink check. Small flower. There's quite a lot of fabric in here, which is good. I guess for $18, you'd expect a little bit. I didn't buy the pattern for the bag. I think I have one that's kind of similar, so I think I could probably work it out for myself. Love checks. But these fabrics were all used in the bag, which had lots of slow stitching on top of it. Looks a bit like a Liberty, but I don't think it is. It's good. I like all the fabrics. There's nothing I'm not liking, which is a risk when you don't get to open the packs and check out what's in them before you purchase. Although there was a sample bag there made out of the pinks, so I could say that's really cute. Rabbits. I always like rabbits. I could always have checked the fabrics on the bag. Seahorse. Cupcakes. I like this one. Looks like a Japanese fabric. And I like the strawberries too. Wow, so that's a big collection. I'll try and get that off the table and shove it over here so it's out of your way. So I've got a little bit more fabric. I really mostly bought fabric. So these are vintage grain sacks or feed sacks. Now these are from Lucello in Melbourne, which is a store that I've never been to. Whoops, bumped the camera. I've never been to, but I'd really like to go one day. And apparently the lady has a huge collection. And luckily, because we were there just before it was closing on the first day, she was actually restocking her little suitcase that she had all these kind of fabrics in. So I got some good choices. These are all old vintage fabrics. They're not new. And then I'm going to show you these. These are what I went to the show for, these two fabrics. So she posted a photo on Instagram. It's pretty much, was definitely this pack and one really similar to this one. Again, these are vintage fabric packs. So these weren't there when I first got to the show. And luckily, before we were leaving, I said to Mum, I just want to have another look there at Lucello, and we had a look, and she had just put these out because someone had put them aside to get them later, but they didn't come back. What a silly person. It means I got to get them. And these are absolutely beautiful vintage, mostly floral fabrics. These packs were $15. How pretty is that? And they're all old fabrics. I love old fabrics like this. All of them. Look how pretty this one is. And the stripe. Oh, I love this one. Look at that. And this blue. They'd be really nice doing a slow stitch cover on your journal. I could imagine doing that with these fabrics. This is my second pack. This one's quite thick actually. That's a thick fabric. It's pretty. It's a very pale blue, sort of almost aqua-y kind of colour. This one was in the other one, and so was that one. Already seen that one. I do like getting these types of fabric. They can be hard to find here in Australia. I know Lucello have heaps, but I certainly have a lot of trouble finding them in Sydney. Okay, this was a big pack. This had lots of vintage fabric. So this is slow stitching starter pack. Perfect for Lisa Mattock. Lisa Mattock is a person that my mum's had some lessons with, and we all follow her on Instagram as well. And Lucello, slow stitching Huswiff, whatever that is, I don't know. Anyway, this is a mix of fabrics. There's some buttons and trims as well. So let's have a look. This one was $34.95. Mum and I both got a pack that was fairly similar. There was a lot of beautiful packs there to choose from. It was actually hard to decide. So let's have a look. Let's tip it all out. So again, we've got some vintage scrap fabric pieces, some trim. This is quite a thick fabric, that one. This one looks similar to one of the ones I got in my other pack, but it's a bit different. Little bits and pieces. I know Lisa Maddock not long ago went to France, and she brought back some stunning vintage fabrics. And the last craft fair we went to, I bought quite a bit of her stuff, and so did Mum. It's really pretty. And you only need little bits and pieces for slow stitching. Some of this might look nice on my Jessie Corley quilt. I can't remember if I've shown you that. I know I did a video with my sister on my Jessie Corley. It's right near me. I might grab it and show you a little bit of it at the end. Pretty trim. Nice check. This feels like a linen, yes. A little bundle of trims. Show you them. Do some pretty bits and pieces with, and some vintage buttons as well. Okay, and not the last thing I bought. The last thing I bought from Lucello. These are 9 vintage style labels, charming reproductions from our collection of antique ephemera, printed in Melbourne on 100% cotton. These were $24.95. I couldn't pass these up. I had visions of these on the front covers of journals. I thought they'd be really great. And they were all the same. All the packs were the same. So if I just lay that out on screen, hopefully you can see it. So we've got some florals down the side here. It looks like a little cherub, some butterflies, some little chickens with flowers, a bird, butterfly, flowers and a bee. Little girls in what looks like is an Easter egg as kind of like a hot air balloon, and some people. And just to show you up close, turn them this way, sorry. So they're on quite thick fabric, which will be good for stitching, I think, onto the front covers of journals. So I do have a journal that's on order. I've started pulling together some bits and pieces, but I haven't quite made the cover yet. Maybe I'll put one of these labels on. And just so you can see where it's from, you might be interested. You can buy it online. So just look up Lucello. There's the details there. Their website, I don't know the website, but I'm sure you'd find them. I follow them on Instagram. I think my sister Rachel does too, and Mum. We all do. So see if you can find them. The next thing I bought, this is actually some Japanese navy blue cotton, which we'll be able to use for slow stitching. And then we found little balls of sari silk, which obviously is good for journaling. So I got like a moss kind of limey moss green. I don't know how to describe that. It looks a bit bright on the camera. It's a bit more darker limey. And then this is kind of like a navy. And then Mum bought a few different colours as well. So that's what we got at the show. And then maybe I'll just show you a quick video of my Jessie Corley. I'll just grab it. So as you know, we love Jessie Corley. I showed you my journaling kit I brought from her, and now this is how I first got onto her. My sister Rachel got me onto her, Roxy Creations by Rachel. She sent my mum and I a Jessie Corley friendship quilt kit, which had some panels that we could stitch, and we've been working in them, and my sister's been working on one as well, and they're all really different. I'm not finished with mine. I haven't actually done anything for a while, but I would like to get on with it and get it done. So it's a combination of, there's some slow stitching, there's quite a few different types of embroidery stitches, applique of fabrics. That bird was that's actually a vintage doily that I had. It was my favourite one there that I put on. The only thing my little bird was missing was a beak, so I stitched him a little orange beak. Put the word stitch in there. This is vintage grain sack that I got from Lucello at another craft show. This embroidery here, Rachel actually did for me a while ago and sent it to me, so I've put that on. Little vintage doilies. The sailboat was one of the packs. Fabrics like these were vintage fabrics. This was like a label from fabric. We've got, this is Jessie Corley fabric in here, a vintage, sorry you can't see down there, I'll move you down. This down here was some vintage, so this is fabric from Jessie Corley, and I put some vintage buttons, a vintage embroidery, one of her panels, another one of her panels down the bottom here. These are vintage yo-yos that we get from, I think it's called Purveyor of, can't believe I'm having a mental blank, but a girl we follow on Instagram called Mel that my sister and I buy from. Some vintage, this is vintage grain sack again from Lucello down the side and also on the bottom. I need to do some slow stitching there. I've got bits and pieces of old lace. This is one of my favourite ones. Little bits, we've got embroidery. I embroidered some little strawberries, some slow stitching, other bits of linen. This one is actually a silk thread that I've couched on, is the name of the stitch, and then I've had it come down through the needle. So it's taken a lot of work. Like my little mushrooms that got little fluffy bits under. They're Japanese vintage pieces of fabric there. It's taken a lot of work. It's not quite done, but I would actually like to add some of the little bits and pieces, like you can add little squares of fabric here and there and everywhere, all over it. So that's what mine looks like at the moment. Rachel's is really beautiful as well. It looks different though, and Mum wouldn't even let us show hers on camera. Mum thinks she's not very good at sewing, but really my sister and I pretty much learn a lot of stuff from Mum, and we're probably inspired by Mum. So I'll show you a bit more maybe once it's done. All right, I hope you enjoyed seeing my little purchases from the I spent a bit, purchases from the craft show. Fabrics galore here. I've got a massive stack, but it should come in handy, and I'm even thinking about using some of it in my journaling. Okay, I'm hoping that you're having a good day, and this weekend I'm hoping also to get onto some of my journaling and get my front cover made for the person who I've got an order for. Okay, see you later. Bye.